Hi, my name is Christiana, and I'm an account manager at Envida, and I'm super excited to share this month's Evolve with Envida with you all. So we have some super fun, new, exciting news that we just rolled out, but we have two new office buildings located in Orlando, Florida, and Austin, Texas, in addition to our office in Phoenix, Arizona, making three Envida offices across the nation. We're super excited for this. We absolutely love getting to meet with you all in person. And with that, we like to execute leasing team trainings for your on-site teams. So these leasing team trainings are anywhere from our best content tips and tricks, how to capture the best content, how to post on social media, anything like that. So what you're about to see for today's Evolve with Envida is a very mini version of our Ultimate Leasing Team training. This is just kind of like a sneak peek into what the full leasing team training could look like. That being said, if you are interested in executing a leasing team training, please reach out to your account manager. We would absolutely love to get something scheduled, especially now that we have those three office buildings across the nation. We would love to even get something scheduled in person. So don't hesitate to reach out to your account manager if you're interested. So the first thing that we kind of wanted to dive into is our post category breakdown. So when we're posting on your guys' social accounts month over month, there's three different content buckets that we're kind of always dipping into. So the first is going to be property features. Of course, we want to make sure that we are highlighting your beautiful property on your social account. So whether that be through model units, amenities, floor plans, anything that makes your property really unique and stand out is what we're going to be focusing on your social accounts. The next is hyperlocal neighborhood callouts, whether that be through retail, recreation, restaurants. We are wanting to make sure that the content that's going out is relevant to your audience. So we're finding those nearby coffee shops, nearby restaurants, parks, to the property so that the audience can really resonate with what we're posting. Something we really like to do for the hyperlocal callouts is UGC, or user-generated content. This is where you can reach out to a business that's near the property. Let's say there's a coffee shop right around the corner, and there's a really cool photo that they posted, and it aligns with your property and your branding. We think it would really look great on your feed, and you kind of just want to build that partnership with that coffee shop. We'll reach out and we'll ask them if we can repurpose their photo onto your Instagram profile, as long as we give them their credit. 9 times out of time, 10, they'll say yes. So we're then able to repost it onto your account. Not only does this help to just continue to dive into that hyperlocal highlight, but you're also building partnerships with nearby businesses as well. And then the last content bucket is lifestyle. This one's really a mixed bag of pretty much everything else. So it's going to be anything between local events or property events, pet friendly. I will say the pet friendly posts always perform great because who doesn't love seeing a pet photo? Any positive resident reviews or meet the team series. I think anything with humanization in it also really performs well. Holidays or national days, and then trending content. I think, of course, a big key in posting on socials, making sure that you're hopping on trends, as long as, of course, you're keeping fair housing in mind and that it relates to the multifamily industry. But anything regarding all of that would fall kind of like in that lifestyle bag. Now switching gears into Instagram stories. So what are Instagram stories? So these are a feed of photos or videos that disappear from your profile after 24 hours, and they kind of act like a slideshow with each photo or video uploaded to your feed representing a new slide. So these aren't necessarily going to live in your actual Instagram grid or your feed the way that static posts or reels do. These disappear after 24 hours. So these are really great for in the moment type of content. There's a lot of benefits for posting on Instagram stories. The first would be that it puts you front and center in your followers' feeds. I think a lot of times some users will just open the Instagram app, and before they even get to scrolling on the feed, they will tap through Instagram stories for 5-10 minutes. So if you're also posting onto your Instagram story, that's just going to get a larger reach for your content and more eyes to see it. It also humanizes your brand. It makes it very authentic, showing that somebody is posting. It offers endless ways for users to engage with your brand. We'll touch base on this on the next slide, but we always encourage you to make these stories as engagement based as possible. And then it also drives traffic to your website. So The best type of content to post on Instagram stories would be anything from a resident experience. If you have a resident who has had a really positive experience living at your property and you want to highlight that, you could take a quick, 15-second video and post that onto the Instagram story. Not only would prospects like to see this, but current residents like to see themselves on the Instagram page as well. Teasers or property updates, any behind the scenes or leasing specials. I think behind the scenes is key, especially because that might not be something that you would want to live on the feed forever, but it would be something that would be really cool to post in the moment and then it only lasts for 24 hours. And residents and prospects are able to see what like a behind the scenes resident event looks like or something like that. Any UGC or resident photos, hyperlocal reshares. I think reshares is another key point. You can reshare from other businesses nearby, resharing that onto your Instagram story. And then audience demographics. 5 ways to increase engagement within the Instagram story platform, or sorry, excuse me, not platform, but posting, would be to post consistently. I think for in-feed posts, we always recommend keeping those to like 2 to 3 times a week. However, for stories, you can post these a bit more consistently. So this might be something that you post one story a day or every other day, just diving into what's actually going on currently at the property. We highly recommend to utilize engagement stickers. We think that keeping these stories as engagement based as possible not only helps drive the engagement, but you're also able to get real-time feedback from your followers. So let's say you post a story and you put an engagement sticker that says, "Who's coming to tonight's event?" And they can vote on if they're coming or not. You're able to actually get that real-time feedback from your followers to see who's going to be coming to the event or not. As well as Instagram's algorithm will boost out these stories more when people are engaging with them. So if you're able to use those engagement features that are native to the Instagram app, Instagram's algorithm will continue to boost out those stories more. Once again, resharing the in-feed content or reposting UGC. If you're able to repost a reel that you just posted onto the Instagram story, this will only help get more reach for that type of content. And then include call to actions. If you're able to include like a sticker link that says learn more or view floor plans here or whatever the call to action might be, and keeping it as clickable as possible, this will help drive users to your website for more information. I know I've said the word hyperlocal probably at least 10 times now, but this is another way that you can remain hyperlocal. So to perfect your profile, one thing that we really try and do is optimize it for social search optimization. So many users now are using Facebook and Instagram as search engines. So you want to make sure that your profile is optimized for that so that when people are searching, your content is coming up. So there's a couple different ways you can do this. The first would be the bio structure. You want to make sure that you're using those keywords as well as the location within the bio. That way, if somebody's searching Austin apartments or Austin living, anything like that, I say Austin for this example in specific, it's more likely that your account would come up. The username and handle clarity. So something that we like to do is keep the Instagram handle, so the username itself, whatever the name of the property is, but changing the name to whatever the name of the city is. So for this example, we've changed the name to say Austin Apartments. And the reason for this is for that social search optimization piece. If someone were searching Austin Apartments or apartments in Austin, it's more likely that your profile or your content is going to come up rather than if you had the name just 415 Colorado, it may not come up as much as Austin Apartments would. Call to action and link strategy. So when you're posting, correct, excuse me, when you are including links in your Instagram bio, let's say you have a website link, changing that to say learn more, or there's an amenities one, and you could say view amenities here. Just making sure that you're using call to actions to drive users to actually click on these links. And then lastly, profile highlights and categories. So I know we just recently talked about the Instagram stories. If you do want these to live on your profile for longer than 24 hours, you can build out highlights. So these are what these little circle icons are on this example are what your highlights are. And for these, we really try and build it out to be its own mini website. So all of the information that somebody might get off your actual website, they could find right there on your Instagram profile. So having an amenities highlight, a floor plans highlight, neighborhood highlight, anything like that. And then anything that you post onto your story that you do want to live on your feed or that it's educational, it gives your users more information and that it is the same information that they might find on your website. We encourage you to save this to the highlight. That way, when users are searching through it, they're able to find all that same information. And then lastly, how to build an organic Instagram following. The first thing we'd recommend is aim to follow 40 to 50 new accounts per week. And there's a couple different ways to find these new accounts. So first, I would say look at the Explore page. A lot of times, the Explore page is going to show you users that are also within your area, within your city. So definitely look at the Explore page. Look at suggested people. Once again, it's going to go off that location. Search for apartment locator accounts and who they're following. I think really use this to your advantage when you're searching these types of people, even local brokers and real estate people. You can look to see who they're following and follow those users as well. One that I think is super easy to do is searching the property location. So using the Austin apartment example, you could search Austin, Texas coffee shops, and then you can start following these coffee shops that are in Austin because you are an apartment building in Austin. So you're just helping to follow those hyperlocal buildings, restaurants, coffee shops near you. Search specific neighborhood shots, look at who the account is following and who's following them. Search top competitors in the area and see who's liking their posts and follow them. I think this is also a really huge one. Finding the other apartments that are in your area and see who they're following and who's following them and follow those accounts so that way you're also getting your account out there. And then lastly, search hyperlocal influencers for this location. I think the main thing to keep in mind is just keeping the location top of mind when you're following these accounts, making sure that it is hyperlocal and relevant to your account and to your audience, as well as keeping engagement as top of mind. When you're following these accounts, make sure to like a couple of their posts, comment on their posts. This will encourage them to also follow you back, engage with your content as well. But that is it for today's Evolve with Envida. Thank you so much for joining me today. As I mentioned earlier, if you are interested in executing the full leasing team training, whether that be virtually or in person at one of our 3 office locations, or even us coming to your apartment complex, let us know. We would be more than happy to do that. So please feel free to reach out to your designated account manager. But thank you so much, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.